listeners are as important as our guests. Join in on the conversation. 504-341-8255. The New Orleans Talk Network. Listeners are as important as our guests. Join in on the conversation. 504-341-8255. The New Orleans Talk Network. Listeners are as important as our guests. Join in on the conversation. 504-341-8255. The New Orleans Talk Network. Listeners are as important as our guests. Join in on the conversation. 504-341-8255. The New Orleans Talk Network.
Talk Network. It's today's hottest topics with an added flair. You get ready because the conversation will be hot and better yet, mobile. Download the New Orleans Talk Network app available on Android, iPhone, iPad, and you can listen to us on the web at www.neworleanstalknetwork.com. Write down our talk line at 504-341-TALK. That's 504-341-8255. Interactive and worldwide. That's what we are. Join in on the real conversation and tell a friend about the New Orleans Talk Network.
Hi, I'm Sheriff Joe Lapinto, and you are watching the New Orleans Talk Network.
This is Congressman Cedric Richmond, and you're watching the New Orleans Talk Network.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. You are listening and you are watching Church Without Walls. We come your way every Monday morning, 11 to 12 Central Standard Time. We're not a church because we all are the church. That's why our name is Church Without Walls, because all of God's people are His church. So we come your way every Monday morning, and in the beautiful studio of the New Orleans Talk Network. I am your host, Charles Stewart, and co-host by Dr. Anthony Williams. And we have two very special studio guests with us this morning, but we would like to tell our listening and audience, the audience that is watching us this morning, that we appreciate that you tuning in every Monday morning. You're taking time out of your busy schedule to learn, and also you can be a help to us to help our brothers and sisters. This is what this show is all about. Letting the people know what's available for them and also help them improve their quality of life. That's the only reason why we come on every Monday morning. Want to also say on the 29th of this month, they're going to have a very important debate between school board, the candidate for District 5. 3 gentlemen would be, I'm saying gentlemen, but said 3 candidates could have a lady candidate. So I'm going to say school board member Cedric Floyd, Mr. Simeon Dickerson, and Miss D. Dunn. They will be in the studio at the New Orleans Talk Network, 7601 West Bank Expressway. Be there. Don't you miss this debate, and you can voice your concern. Don't wait till the election over with and you come, I wish I would have did this. You be there and let your voice be heard. And maybe the question that you want answer, you can have an opportunity to ask it on the 29th and at 6 o'clock at 7601 West Bank Expressway. And we certainly hope that everyone have enjoyed your week. I know y'all enjoyed that football game. I ain't going to talk about some of y'all are probably still nervous. Can't believe y'all won the game by just 1 point. But all it takes is 1. And so we hope that you enjoy going to your church house, the family reunion, the picnic, what have you. We hope that you would have a blessed week. Now, we're going to get into, we got a special show today, and our topic is yesterday, today, and tomorrow. And they got a gentleman, I'm sitting right next to my right, is that he knows certainly about yesterday, today, and tomorrow. He is a renowned speaker. He speaks all over the United States, not just in Louisiana, but he goes everywhere. God has blessed him with a very unique talent, and he is a special person. We're so happy to have him. And also, and everybody ought to know, and when you mention Avondale, Coach Stanley Schofield. Everybody knows Schofield. And also one of the young men that came up under him is Wilbert. And Wilbert is in the studio right by his side. That's good to show you that I know when you say that when you plant a seed and you see them come up and they respect the seed. And now every seed planted not good now, y'all, because some seeds you plant and they come up, it's not a good fruit or a good vegetable, but Wilbert happened to be one of the good seeds that growed up, and many, many other young men came up under Coach Schofield. Some of them got to be professional football player, basketball player, and a lot of them been politicians. I mean, across the board, people he's been a mentor to have grown up to be great young men. But Dr. Williams probably want to make some comments in a minute, but I would like for Wilbert to introduce himself first and what he do in the community, and tell them something about what he intended to do in the community.
Okay, my name is Wilbert Richardson. Grew up on Bishop Street, 224. Come up through Kennedy Heights Playground, played 8 years, me and my siblings. Got to know Coach at an early age, and he left an imprint on me and my family. Matter of fact, as I was laughing with one of my sisters, she was talking about when they came behind me, that Coach didn't know their name and he called them all Little Wilbert. And that was a funny thing to me. But I had great time growing up there, brothers and sisters. I consider the neighborhood my family. I love the neighborhood, and I got involved with the Booster Club a couple years ago, about 2 years ago, to try to make some kind of imprint. And we made a little headway, and so roll it up till now. About 2 months ago, some guys called me, Larry Delmo and them, and said, hey man, let's put together a picnic. And we got there, and the picnic turned out to be real huge. And after the picnic, a lot of people say, we got to keep this going, we got to keep this going. So I'm sitting down at home 2 weeks later, and I'm wondering, I'm like, how is this going to keep going? How is this going to keep going? So Donald sends, I'm sitting by my mom's house, and Donald sends his sister across the street. She said, Donald wants to see you. And I said, oh, Donald wants to see me. And I took 2 steps out of the house, and I said, oh, Donald's getting involved. I said, we about to do some things now. So I'm so grateful for that, and so grateful for what this man has done for over 50 years, and continue on. We're gonna continue on, make some things happen, and we're gonna get this. We're gonna galvanize this community, and we're gonna do some great things for these kids, for the citizens. Total community outreach. So I'm involved.
Okay, we're gonna talk about that later. But doctor, coach, whatever you want to be, doctor, you are. Mr. Schofield, would you let our listening audience?
Well, good morning. I want to thank Church Without Walls and the Talk Network for inviting me. I got a call from you.
Yeah.
Said, would you come in and say a few words? Well, I said to myself, now what could I say that hadn't already been said? But it's kids like Wilbur, they were growing up to become men and women in the KWK network. We now a network. We're not just a playground, because as you mentioned, we have politicians, we have directors, we have athletes, but we didn't start out to just make athletes. Our purpose, and let me just say this, I was talking to Wilbur, be careful when God puts you on a mission. Because sometimes you say, well, I might want to do a little bit, but like Moses, I said, well, maybe I'm not fit for this, not long term. But you can't tell God what you can do and what you can't do. Yeah. And I know it's been me, and I was just telling, well, I never want to accept the credit for what God does. He has used me to affect the lives of these young people, and I pray I've been faithful in carrying out that commandment. But you can't sow a product without the seeds. And Wilbur and the young ladies, the women who are women now, who have children now, who have grandchildren, being part of the program, these are the seeds. And I hope to never want to take credit for what you see in this community that have come out from Kennedy Heights. All I was put here to do was to be the shepherd over the flock. And God is working through them. And we want to ask you in the community, send your kids out. Our program now is being headed by Mr. Sean Beers. He's the center supervisor. But we have a coaching staff. Our coaching staff consists of all former players, and Sean Beers is a former player. So God is reproducing that fruit over and over. So we ask you, come out and send your kids, your grandchildren. I'll be there as long as God keeps me on the post. And even if I'm not, I think that with Wilbur and John Clarks and Donald Jones, all the people who've gone to Darrell Wards, who've gone through, they'll keep it going. Okay. And once you get the spirit of KWK, it's kind of hard to get rid of it. We like to say it's the funky thing that once it gets in you, it's hard to get out.
Okay. All right, Coach, we got a call on line 1. Caller? Line 1? Caller, you are on. While we're waiting on the caller, we would invite anyone that'd like to call in. 563-999-1808. Caller, Can you hear us? Dr. William, while we're waiting over, we seem to have some kind of technical problem. Dr. William, you would like to say anything to this conversation? I know you're from the Kennewick area.
Well, Charles, what you'll find is that you have people like Dr. Schofield who motivated a lot of the youngsters in that area. And you called out some names already. But unbeknown to him, I was a person that always stayed to myself, mostly quiet. But to my life, he motivated me to be the best that I could at all times. And it enabled me to get into the parish and become a supervisor. And as a supervisor, through his motivational skills and what he instilled within me, I was able to run 4 of Jefferson Parish Center successfully. And the people that came into the center had the confidence within me and my managerial skills to help them to do what they needed to do. And he have been a motivation to a lot of people that he don't even know that he have. As a matter of fact, I can remember us sitting on a school bus one day, and Bernard Southall, Casey Jean-Pierre, Charles Williams, and a few others, we decided that we was going to picket Lincoln because we didn't have the books that we wanted. The covers were off for the books. We burned up in the summertime. We froze in the wintertime. But as a result, we were a few of the students who actually got out there and picket Lincoln so that we could get the things that we wanted at the school. We were interested in instrumenting getting a lunchroom. We were interested in setting up a mechanical art building. And after which, Lincoln was brought into an elementary school. And they shipped us out to like West Jefferson and whatnot. But we, because of people like Stanley Schofield, that gave us the initiative to go out and be the best you can. Don't ask for a piece of the pie. Try to get as much of the pie as you can and share that with others. And you got people like him who have actually, when we look at the light posts and we see the lights going out on the post, we need people that's going to continue that force, continue to keep those lights burning so that individuals can see where they're going and not fumble and fall. And, he spoke about Moses. God instilled things into people, Wilbert, and he tells them that, hey, don't look at yourself as not being able to do the job. All things work together for them that love the Lord and are called according to his purpose. And that's the call. And when you're called according to God's purpose, you have a vision. God's give you insight and you're able to see where you're going. You're not going to fumble, you're not going to fall because he's going to put in you what he needs to be in you so that you can do all that he wants you to do. What I'd like to do before we have a caller on the line right now. Caller, can you hear us?
I think the caller, I think they may have lost that call. Okay. And I think they're saying their last 4 numbers is 0425. And we apologize for anyone that called in that can't get through. We ask you to keep on trying. Sometime, with all the different phone lines that they have these days, sometimes you be talking to someone and lose them. So we have in the studio Mr. Stanley Schofield and Wilbur Richardson, and we happen to have them, and they sharing with us the vision of the future. We were talking about, after commercial, we're going to talk about yesterday. I can't wait to ask Coach Schofield about in the beginning when he started teaching those young kids in Avondale and how the process worked, because it had a lot of hand-me-down, and I know he wouldn't let those kids take no hand-me-down. And we're going to get in that later on in the show. And Dr. Williams, do you have something that you wanted to finish up that you were dealing with?
The only thing I'd like to do is, Charles, as we normally do, I'd like to say a prayer for all of those who are sick and shut in, those who weren't able to get out to their church. So I'm going to ask you all to bow your head with me. Most gracious and everlasting Father, at this hour of the evening, we come before you and your holy throne of angels. We come to petition you, to ask you, to request of you, that thou would look upon all of those who are sick and bewildered, those who are shut in. God, my Father, we ask that you would touch them, those on that bed of affliction, that you would touch them and administer to them a healing power. Oh God, my Father, if it is your will this morning that they be healed, we ask that you would grant them that servitude. Oh God, my Father, but if it is not your will this morning, we ask that you would not remove the thorn, but give them the courage to be able to work along with that thorn. Give them the courage to be able to live with the thorn. For it is just a buffer that may have come upon them. And we know that you're able this morning, and we put all of this within your hand, because we know that your word said that whatsoever you ask of Jesus, of the Lord, in my name, Jesus would grant it unto us. And we ask you, Lord, that he will grant it to us this morning in the name of Jesus. Amen.
Amen. Willie, you come right on that prayer. Just hit you right on time. You on there?
Good morning to Mr. Williams.
Could you speak a little
louder? Good morning. Our producer need to turn the volume up a little higher. Calder, you need to talk a little louder.
Oh, okay. Can you hear me now?
We can hear you now, baby. Go ahead on. Good morning.
Good morning. How you doing, Mr. Charles and Mr. William and Mr. Schofield? I'm just calling to say
and
that
Mr. Richardson.
Schofield, oh, Mr. Richardson.
Yeah.
That's the other host, Mr. Williams, not on there?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, Mr. Williams, we got, we have two special guests this morning.
Oh, okay.
Okay, but go ahead on, baby.
Schofield. Well, for Schofield, all I hear is good names, so he was a blessing to many people. I know he's a motivated speaker and everything, and every time you say his name, he's always associated with good things, never nothing bad. So that's a blessing in itself.
A blessing.
But I want to ask him a question about, he see kids yesteryear, he see kids today, and I want to know what he could say that the kids today, why they so different from the kids of years ago.
Well, you have to understand that the kids of yesterday came up under a different system in terms of being provided discipline. Kids who came yesterday, they knew how to act. They were taught how to act at home. And one of the mandates was the parents would say, don't embarrass me out there. So it was just a matter of saying to them, let's get it together, because you don't want me to call your parents or whatever. But unfortunately, many of our kids today are being raised by younger parents who, for some reason, and only they can explain it, they seem to want to be their friends. And you and I both know that parents are not brought into existence to be friends of their kids, but to be the guardians and the shepherds of their friends, or their children. So again, now we still have good kids. God has not stopped making good kids, but we just have to have parents who understand that they have to be the ones that instill discipline in their children. And once they do that and understand that, it makes our job so much easier. But always remember they are good kids. I can remember the time when Wilbur in that group came out, I used to say, Lord, where did you send me these kids? All right. I get older guys like Wilbur and Donald and Darryl Ward and coming back to me, and Anthony Penn and that group saying, you've changed, kid, Coach. We couldn't do, Coach, you've changed. And I had to explain to him, if I discipline kids today the way I disciplined them, I'd probably be serving life imprisonment in Angola somewhere. But God has given me the ability to understand that as technology changes, we have to change our approach with kids. We have to be consistent, and we have to be positive, but we have to be fair. And that's what we've always tried to do. And I would say 99% of our kids today are willing to abide by that. Now, we still have an element that won't, but again, we do what we do. And so I would say that just keep sending the kids, and we'll keep doing what we need to do.
What do you recommend the school system to do to discipline kids? Can they better their discipline they have at school?
Well, let me just say this: that would take a whole week of dealing with the school system. Again, when you reflect back to how we at the Lincoln High schools, how they applied their discipline, they were more interested in developing us as human beings. I go to conferences with teachers, and I ask teachers, what do they teach? And they tell me English, Spanish, math. I say, no, you teach children. And once they understand that they're teaching children, then they can understand that God has already put in each one of those children what he wants them to have. And a teacher's job is to place an environment to bring that out. So again, maybe we'll do another program on what the schools should be doing. And we want to thank you for calling in. Just keep praying for us and praying for the kids. We're going to be the victors no matter what.
And caller, remember the number, and remember to call us in again on this show again. We'll be waiting for your call. Keep in touch with us, watching what's going on, and we enjoy your comments.
Okay, thank you so much, caller.
Hello, New Orleans Talk Network.
Hello? Have a call on? Okay, we want to thank the caller. I'd like to ask the producers that we take one break today. Could we take a break now and we'll come back? And we want to go back to the old landmark when we come back from a commercial break. So if you anyone like to call in, 563-999-1808.
And I want to encourage you to join Church Without Walls every Monday morning from 11 a.m. to 12 noon.
And we want to encourage you to promote God's plan and not man's plan.
Don't you dare miss it.
Hello, this is Dr. Glenda E. Williams.
This is Charles Stewart.
Dr. Anthony Williams.
Are you looking for a home to live stream your next event? Give us a call here at Bethesda Community Event Center, the only place on the Gulf Coast that can host and broadcast live your wedding reception, your baby shower, business seminar, and any other special event. Give us a call at 504-708-9454 for more details.
Oh, how the time flies. What's up, y'all? It's your girl, Dr. Rhonda M. Lawson. And can you believe that it has been 1 year since Horizons with Meet the World Image Solutions hit your airwaves? We have interviewed authors, entrepreneurs, playwrights, musicians, and everyone in between, all to bring you the best of literary conversation. And we plan to do it again this year, but only better. So join us right here in the Literary Lounge each Wednesday night at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, right here on the New Orleans Talk Network. See you there.
Now New Orleans has a choice. Download the New Orleans Talk Network app for your mobile device or listen at www.neworleanstalknetwork.com. Orleans Talk Network, now on your mobile device, on your computer, in your ear, and interactive. It's new, it's innovative, and it's on your mobile device. Android, iPhone, iPad, and on your computer. Take us wherever you go. Because we're interactive. 504-341-TALK. That's 504-341-8255. The New Orleans Talk Network, now on your mobile device, on your computer, in your ear, and interactive. It's new, it's innovative, and it's on your mobile device.
We are back. You are listening and watching Church Without Walls. We come your way every Monday morning, 11 to 12 Central Standard Time, in the beautiful studios of the New Orleans Talk Network. Today we are talking about yesterday, today, and tomorrow. And our studio guest is no other than one, the only, renowned, and everybody know this man all over this country, a great motivator, great motivation speaker, but also he teaches with reality and with power, and what he said make a lot of sense. And also with him is one of his students, Wilbert Richardson. We're so happy to have both of them sharing with us, and I know we're going to have to get them back because with all this wealth and all the things that they doing, but we got a call on line one, so we don't want to hold up this call. Go ahead on.
Hey, how y'all guys doing today? What up, Deacon Stewart, Reverend Williams, Wilbur, my lifelong neighbor, and the community matriarch, Coach Stanley Schofield. How y'all doing today?
Fine. How are you? Man.
Hey, listen, I just want to remind everyone about yesterday. I remember in Lucille Charbonnet, and including numerous amount of schools throughout the New Orleans metro area, where Coach Stanley Schofield will come and give this epic speech about if you lost your mother or your parents. And this speech was so powerful to where it will have all grade levels from elementary to 12th grade break down emotionally, because he tapped into the minds of the youth to get them to understand that tomorrow isn't guaranteed, and worship your mother and your father and love them unconditionally, and to inspire a whole Southeast. I don't know where else you went with that speech, Coach, but I know every school you went to Teen Summit, where they used to have packed out the Superdome, and you had kids break down, and they wasn't crying tears of fear, but tears of, these tears was kids being touched in a way that someone probably never touched them before. And I never forget that speech. And I don't care if I get Alzheimer's. I would never forget that speech you gave, Coach, and I just want to thank you for giving the community those wise words, because to this day, whenever I feel like I'm mad at my mother, my father, I go back to that speech, and I remind myself that, look, man, you only get one.
Yeah.
You know, so love your mother and love your father and respect them. And that really changed when I saw my parents, and I just want to thank you, Coach, from the bottom, middle, and top of my heart for being the person that you are, and continue to keep up the great work in the community, Coach. I really appreciate you, and you're so respected. I truly respect you.
Thank you for sharing that. And as long as God will allow me, I will continue to give that speech. But it's very sometimes disheartening when people walk up to me and say, "That's the man that made me cry." And, I tell them I'm not an onion. But God has blessed me to give that speech. And as long as I'm able to, because we don't respect our parents the way we should. And that for God is one of the basic sins, because the Bible says, honor thy mother and thy father. And we've got to do a better job of it. And I just want to thank you for sharing that with me. And please be aware, I will continue to share that message as long as I can and go as far as I can. Thank you for calling.
Thank you, caller. You still there, caller? If you're not there, we think. Okay. Any other questions?
Yes, I just want to talk about today and tomorrow. And I just want to ask you, Coach, how are kids responding to that speech today? And do you think tomorrow that someone else will be able to carry that same exact speech, because it's an excellent message for the kids in our community? Do you think someone will be able to carry that speech on throughout time? I'll hang up and listen.
Oh, yeah, man. Kids respond to it. Later next month, I'm going to, hopefully, a Catholic Youth Conference in Lafayette. And they'll have thousands of kids there and parents, because it's a partnership for the family. But yeah, God has always sent messengers. He doesn't stop sending messengers. He has to do that. And so there'll be somebody who picks it up, because everywhere I go, especially out of town, speakers ask me, can you give me that song you play, which is This Gift of Life by Teddy Pendergrass, and they're using that and incorporating the stuff that they get from me. Remember, I wasn't born with this. I've probably heard somebody else give that speech, and so I've just taken it and put it in the method in which I deliver it. But yes, there'll be somebody, and our kids respond to it. Parents will respond to it. I'm getting calls to come out. I would personally like to get in more schools in Jefferson Parish, but in its proper place and proper time, so be assured, okay? And thank you for sharing that with me.
Okay, thank you so much, caller. Any other questions? Caller, thank you so much for your call. And anyone else would like to call in and talk to Coach, 563-999-1808. And back to Coach, we were talking about yesterday, today, we're all over the board, but I want to go back a little bit, Coach, and a lot of young men that I've met and got to know that came up under you, and they oftentimes, in our conversation, they will always tell me, Coach, how you didn't allow them to be second-class citizens. Like, sometimes we be talking about when we played football, baseball, we got hand-me-down. Like, I was in the Sewsbury area.
Okay.
I know you remember Cleon Floyd, Clement Samuel
Very
Hill.
well, very well.
And they would bring football equipment or baseball, but it was hand-me-down. Like our Caucasian brothers, when they didn't want it anymore, they gave it to us. When they got new material, we got old new material. And many of your players that play for you, Coach, say you refuse to let them wear hand-me-down clothes. Can you talk about that?
Well, sometimes people will do to you what you allow them to do.
That's exactly right.
When I came in, and let me just quickly share, I had come out of coaching at Second World High School, which is now West St. John, and we had pretty good teams, but sometimes when you say things you shouldn't, or you take a stand, and I got fired because not my inability to do the job, because they just didn't like me standing up. But that's another story for another time. And when I came home, I was downtrodden, and God directed me to start what I started. And the Kennedy Heights playground you see now wasn't the one that I saw. When I walked back there was nothing but trees and high grass. But again, where there's a will, there's a way. And so when I started to get it together, old Pro Sherman, who's passed away, was the director of the West Bank. he asked me if I would like to coach the team. And prior to my taking over, Mr. Simon was working with the kids. And when I got back, we started to work with him. And Pro Sherman said, well, what do you need? And let me just share this with our audience. Our first uniform, our booster club bought that.
Okay.
And I was able to get the Saints.
Okay.
All right.
So you ahead of your time.
Yeah, we got the Saints. Now the helmets they had today are called souvenir helmets, but they were the only ones we could afford.
Yeah, okay.
But then they passed the millage, which is still now. And they said you have this amount of money. And why be less than the best when you are the best? So I went out and got the Minnesota Vikings, the Kansas City Chiefs, New Orleans Saints, and the Steelers. And when you saw our uniforms, they're the same ones that they wear on Sundays in the NFL.
Okay.
I remember walking out in Harvard, play Harvard, we had the Kansas City Chiefs. And one of the kids from Harvard said, on the other team said, that's the real Kansas City Chiefs. But I felt if we look good, play good, and we are good, we would be good. And hey, you should see the uniforms that we have now. Okay. I will say to anybody, come and see. We dress better than any of the NFL teams because that's the way KWK roll. We rock with the best.
Hey, Coach, they got two. I think we got two people holding. We apologize. We'll try to get many as we can. Line 2, you're on. Hello, caller.
707.
Can't hardly hear. Turn the volume up.
Can you turn the volume up? We can't hear. Call on line 2.
7070.
Yeah. Call the hunger. We apologize. I guess caller lost a little patience. But you can call us back 563-999-1808. Back there to
when we look at how things was yesterday compared to how things are today with the kids, what suggestions can you make that we might be able to improve that?
Well, one of the problems we're starting to have kids not coming to practice. When Wilbur and his family, his siblings, and now started that, their parents would demand.
They kicked us out of the house. They go ahead on back there so I clean my house. I'll get ready for dinner. You got to get out of here. You belong to Schofield for a couple of hours, Coach Schofield.
Well, you know what would happen on Saturdays, normally we would have 3 games. And I would always tell them, for whatever reason, report to that park at 7:30 on Saturday morning. And we had a bus. We had a bus way before other playgrounds. We had a bus. We'd pack them in, and we'd take all the team. And parents could be assured on Saturdays for sure, from 7:30 till about 5:30 or 6 o'clock, their kids would be with us. And parents look forward to having that kind of freedom. One of the problems is parents now allow their kids to stay home. We can't help them if they're at home. All right? When they're with us and the playgrounds, we get back there at 5 in the afternoon till 9. If there's a game, it goes over time. But we want them to be safe. And we have kids who miss practice. And I tell them, you can't be a part of any successful program if you don't show up.
Right.
And that we would send them. Right now, we having problems with getting older girls. I just got a shout out to a young lady named Miss Sibley. She, at 8 years old, is probably one of the fastest girls in America. Matter of fact, every time she runs her race, she breaks or sets a new record. Wow. One of the girls, and I've got to shout out to her because if I don't, Aaliyah Hobbs. This young lady has distinguished herself at LSU. She's the reigning 100-meter champion in America. Currently, she's turned professional running for Adidas. but she started out at the playground. She said that she was running from a dog, and she knew she could run. Well, when she first came out as a 9 or 10-year-old, she was running so fast, we nicknamed her Marion Jones.
Okay.
And she carries that name. But this little girl, Sibley, we also have the reigning AU 8 and under 4x1 relay team, the national champ. So we have the kids, we're still producing the Skylar Greens and the Sharon Carey, but we ask you, your Skylar Green or your Leah House may be sitting home. Get them out there, bring them.
Yeah.
We want them. And we're asking the parent, we don't know any program that can do a better job. We just want them to be there so we can do what we do.
So, Dr. Schofield, what was your mandate on kids who came to the park pertaining to their education?
Well, first of all, I believe, and I preach to them, we don't have any dumb athletes. You can't be in that program and be dumb, because we do many things that are complicated. But what we insist that we want scholar. You can be an athlete for a short time. You can be a scholar the rest of your life. And we ask, bring your report cards. Right now, we've got a program, and I don't want to share it right now, but when the kid with the highest grade point average, we want to reward them with that. We have a young man, and let me just holler out his name. His name is Jacoby Walker. This young man had a 3.8, 3.9 grade point average when he graduated from Landry Walker. He's enrolled at Tuskegee, Alabama, in aeronautical engineering. Brilliant brother, all right? We want scholars, all right? I can't do this forever. We need somebody to grab the baton. Life is a relay. Somebody brought me the baton, I will bring it, but we'll need somebody to bring it to. And we demand that you be smart and you educate. Now, we get calls from the schools. I get text messages of kids who are acting out of the school. And we assure the teachers that that won't happen again. Now, how we attain that goal is something only Kennedy Heights or KWK kids know about, but we demand that they be scholars. All right? The world don't need no more dumb people. All right?
And we look at our kids. We look at our kids today based on the kids that were coming up when we were in school, and we look at the restrictions that we had on us. We had one truant officer, Freddie Dorsey.
Yes, sir.
West Wingo. When Fred came on campus, everybody knew they had to be in school.
Yes, sir.
You know, you think something like that still exists in the school today?
Well, it has to. See, you can't run anything without rules and regulation. I was grateful to have parents back then who understood that we didn't have to just to be good, we had to be twice as good. And they demanded that their children do their homework, do the right, and they told them, don't embarrass me. So when they got to the park and I said, don't make me call your parents, they understood that. Now the regulations have been sort of softened now. They got party buses, they got do your own thing, and we have to take our lick for that. As we begin to loosen up, society began to loosen up, we said, well, let them go. No, parents, no, parent. You're the parent. You have to set the rules and regulations, because if you don't set the rules and regulations, how will they set rules and regulations for their children?
Exactly.
See, I can remember as a 12th grader, my mother, on Friday night, I said, Mom, I'm going by my little friend's house. She said, bring me 10:30. I said, Mama, but I'm a senior in high school. I'm 17 years old. What you mean? She said, keep talking, you're going to bring me 10 o'clock.
I got the same thing.
All right. See, now, and let me just share this with you. If I got home at 10:25, she would always say, you want me to fix you something to eat? I said, no, but if I got home at 10:32, she said, oh, you think you're a man. See, if I let you get away with a minute or two now, you want an hour later, and then you want a whole day. So she would jump on me and beat me up. But what was the message? Don't go over 10:30. See, those are the kinds of rules that govern us. And we understood that. But now if our kids don't have any rules, they're raising themselves. And no kid can raise themselves.
And then, too, when we look at the fact that we had teachers in the schoolhouse at that time that cared more about us learning, you know, and they would discipline you.
Well, let me just share this with you. One of my friends, James Shalahan, who graduated from Booker T. Washington, said a lady walked up to him and said, Booker T. Washington, that wasn't a good school. And he went off. Mm-hmm. We had the kinds of teachers who taught us not only to be good students, but to be good human beings. Mm-hmm. And they were telling us that there's a world out there that will eat you up if you're not prepared. And one of the things I want to tell our young people, the world is yours. You just got to go out there and do it. I was talking with one of the technicians back then, and he was telling me about the computer. I fought being computer literate because I said I'm an old man, but now you can't do anything without the computer. And our kids got to get the skill. The jobs are there, but they've got to have the discipline to be able to apply and use that technology to their advantage.
And see, like what you're saying right now, when I went with Jefferson Parish, everybody had computers on their desk.
Yes, sir.
But nobody was using them.
Yeah.
And so, I came from, the first center I was at Lil Farm. And at Lil Farm, since nobody was using their computer, I got instruction from my director if I could do this, and we started them to using their computer to put all of their work on the computer. Mm-hmm. And they got so good at it until they could do their reports and everything else on the computer. You could email it to central office rather than going over there. You have to put it in the mail and go over and bring it over there. But our kids today are working with technology.
Yes, sir.
You know, and everything is a technology. This phone is technology. Those kids can find more information on this phone without going to a library.
Right.
And unless we give them mandate that they learn to do these things, that's going to create a problem for them because, you know, and people don't look at, say, educational program. 3 ways to retain something in your mind: manual dexterity, time consuming, and memory.
Yes, sir.
So if you don't use those 3 things, you see some kids sit down and they're trying to regroup that or regurgitate that information.
Yes.
Okay, or when they get on with the data processing and all, they're in there, they're learning that skill on how they can do. So parents don't have the technology skill, but my little grandson can take this phone and do stuff with it that I can't even figure out how to do.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I have a granddaughter, I have a couple of granddaughters, and they're so smart that it amazes me. Kendall Samuel, she would take my telephone and show me how to open it up, how to access it, and access Sydney. She can do the same thing, Kelly. And it's beautiful. And it's a blessing to see them have that. But we've got to be the ones that encourage them. Mm-hmm. Now, one of the things we tell our kids, get off when you're in class, don't be texting. Mm-hmm. You can do that later on. Get the information that will help you to build a better telephone, a better computer. All right. See, our young people, those of you who might be listening or parents, God ain't making no more dumb people. Mm-hmm. He's never made anybody dumb. He's made people. He's instilled in people what He wants them to have. We do dumb things. We engage in dumb activities, but they're not dumb. Your kids know so much. They can access definitions that we had to turn in the dictionary to find out. You can even Google in what is the definition of love, and before you can say it pops up. Talking back to you.
Yeah.
So again, we have the technology to do all the beautiful things. To the parent, God has blessed you with that kid or those kids. That's His gift to you. How you raise those kids, trust me, is your gift back to God. And you don't want God to tell God when He says, did you raise my child right? God, she was too bad. It was hard. God don't want to hear that.
Don't want to hear it.
He doesn't want to hear it.
I gave it to you.
He said, I gave him to you because I thought I chose them for you and you for them. So don't come out with that kind of excuse. Give them love. Kids will react to them. If you love them, you're consistent with your discipline, and you're fair. Fairness comes from our ability to walk in the way that God wants us to walk. All right?
And then to the parent, remember this, that there's a danger to technology as well as there's a good.
Oh, yeah.
The danger is that as far as educational-wise and them putting it within their head, if they don't know how to work it, and the computer's always working it for them, that becomes a danger to them.
Right.
And they have to learn how to use that computer, find the information, and then utilize that information to make them better. And that computer can actually help them to become better in whatever it is that they're doing. But don't just use the computer and let the computer do all the work. You have to learn how to discipline yourself to be able to do it. Because if you don't know the formula, you can't work the problem.
And be careful about what you put in that computer.
Yeah.
Because there are some people who say, well, if I put it in, I can delete it. Anything that you put in that computer, you think you deleted it. It's
still a ghost in there.
All right. So again,
now we're gonna have to bring this show to an end. It's just getting so good. Well, you know we got to have you back.
Okay.
But before we end the show, but I know that you started Alumni Association. You want to elaborate on that?
Yeah, I like to ask all my KWK family that we formed a new group called KWK Alumni Association. Go to Facebook, and we need your resources, whether it be your money. We need your money, and we need some of your time, so we can get this ball rolling, and we can get this community, and get it to a whole nother level, and take care of these kids, and mentor these kids, and take care of our neighborhood. It's all about self-preservation. Let's take care of ours, and we'll be all right. So we got some good people on our staff. Donald is the architect of the association. You got Manya Ward, you got Narisa Cole, Ms. Doris Blanche, one of the old original Booster Club members, Almeda Brown, Deletris Jones. So we got some good people intact. We need to go to KWK Alumni Association, and you get all the information you need.
Got a telephone number that you reach out?
There's a telephone number on there. You could call my phone number if you need to talk to anybody. It's 504-237-6065, and I thank you for your time.
And come on back to the playground and see me. I'd like to see you. Bring your family. So we had a KWK family event about 3 weeks ago. It was beautiful. They want to do it annually. But come on back and holler.
We're having an all-white party in January. We're having an all-white party in January. Y'all get ready.
Right.
And Coach, I know you accept speaking engagement. You have a number that you want to give them, a page?
Yeah, 436-1570 or 256-2699.
And to all of the people that's in Avondale, go by the park. Drop a small donation off. It's for the kids. Drop a small donation off to help them and to help the people that are running that park back there. That's an advantage to your kids. And you need to be repetitive about helping the kids. They're our future.
And we want to thank everybody for watching and listening. We want to say to everyone, go out and vote. Early voting, I think, starts on the 23rd, but election is November 6th, so please go out and vote candidate. And as you know, they have a debate at 6 o'clock. District 5 school board candidate will be in the studio. Don't forget that. And again, thanks to our studio guests, and we thank to everyone for watching and listening. And we always leave the show by telling everybody that we love you. And there's no such thing as being half dead. If you're dead, you are dead. We love you. See you next week.
Y'all got some sayings.
Yeah.
Our listeners are as important as our guests. Join in on the conversation. 504-341-8255, the New Orleans Talk Network. Listeners are as important as our guests. Join in on the conversation. 504-341-8255, the New Orleans Talk Network. Listeners are as important as our guests. Join in on the conversation.